Hello and welcome to your live Wednesday webinar training. My name is Jared Krebs. I'm in San Antonio, Texas, and I have the honor and privilege of introducing today's guest. And she actually is a former real estate agent who has created success with USANA, has become a gold director within less than a year since starting. But before I bring her on, I want to remind you of 10 things to expect when building your USANA business. Number one, there will be ups and downs, just like anything. Number two, success or failure is up to you. If you succeed, it's because of you. If you fail, it's because of you, not because of the person who invited you to USANA. Number three, the goal is for you to become independent and be an independent leader for your team. Number four, make your plan on the weekend, do it, review it, and make adjustments. Plan, do, review, adjust. Number five, it's gonna take time. It's gonna take at least a year just to get competent at the skill sets to do this. It's going to take 3 years to develop a significant part-time income. It's going to take 5 years to develop a full-time income and 7 years to become world-class. It can happen faster, but it's going to take time. Number six, it takes consistent work and hustle. You have got to stay consistent. Number seven, you're going to have to grow and get outside of your comfort zone, for sure. Number eight, mental toughness is necessary, for sure, as well. Number nine, the grass is not greener in other companies. The grass is greener where you water it. All the companies have challenges. It's hard everywhere at times, right? So it's greener where you water it. And number 10, this is a long-term game. I think the thing I love about USANA is that it's so consistent. USANA is 27 years strong with over $2.5 billion paid to its associates. It's given me and my wife a full-time income for over a decade, as well as thousands of people around the world, and hundreds of thousands have made a part-time income. And few have done it as well as Fanny Castillo Juarez, who is our special guest on today's webinar. Fanny, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to share your story. We're excited to learn from you and want to just know, what was your life like before USANA, and what is your life like now that you have your USANA business, and also how has it impacted your health? So we want to kind of just know your story, and welcome. Oh, we need to unmute you. 1 second. Can you unmute yourself? Let's see. She's about.
Thank you.
There we
Thank
go.
you
All
so
right.
much again.
Yes, welcome.
Jared, it's an honor to be here, and I really appreciate you invited me. So I'm really excited, and I would love to share my story and how it was before USANA, which was pretty much a mess.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Yeah, we're all ears. Who introduced you? What were your challenges? Tell us.
Okay, so I am a mother too. Before I knew about USANA, my husband and I have a pretty successful business already. But it's a business. It's like business in general, very, very hard, very tough. He has a moving company, and I just decided to be a real estate agent, not for sales, but for investment. I always was taught by my father that investments are the best thing because you're gonna be free, right? But my husband worked literally 24/7, like 3 a.m., 2 a.m. and wake up 6 a.m. So it was tough. And also, even though you have workers, sometimes you have to go out there and work and so on. So he started getting sick, like getting overweight and not sleeping, and the dark circles around everything. And so we start building our empire, we say, like our business, and we start buying real estate. So once we understand that real estate was a good investment because it was going to always bring something, but you cannot just stop working. You have always to keep going, right? We got our 2 babies, and my oldest one is Satanas. His name is Satanas, and he's 4-year-old. And the little one is Federico. He's 2-year-old. That's when we understood that we cannot just keep going. Kids need time. So I was so stressed. I was also overweight, and at the 2 years ago, my oldest one was diagnosed with autism. So it was pretty tough. So on top of work, I didn't sleep. It was very, very hard, very sad, very frustrated. I was very frustrated. And when everything started looking better, like, of course, therapies and so on and so on, it was very tough. My little one got sick too. And he got sick like with with flu. Well, that's what the doctor said, but the flu and everything stayed for like months. And they diagnosed him with asthma, you know, and everyone was like, oh, it's asthma, it's normal, don't worry about it. I was like, what? Normal? That's not normal. And so he had nebulization 3 times a day, then he got convulsions, so seizures. And it was very tough for me to have 2 kids that were not healthy. And I was getting depressed, work, kids, stress, illness, everything. So I got diagnosed with GAD, which is general anxiety disorder. So overweight, depression, kids with asthma, convulsions. So it was very tough, very, very tough. And I was very desperate. One day, which one probably was the one of the worst days I can say. I remember I was with my friend, and she called me like, "Oh, the baby is having a convulsion," but it wasn't like other convulsions, you know. It wasn't like another seizure. This one, he stopped breathing. So he was like, or purple, no breathing, and we didn't know what to do. So we just like ran to the hospital, because if we call 911, we didn't know how long that would take. So that one, when I got a call from my sister, she's a doctor in Mexico, and she said just bring him over. So 2 days after that, I was in Mexico, and that's when I met another doctor, because my little one got sick again in Mexico. And my mom took him to the doctor, and she's like, you know what, this doctor said that there's something might help him. And I was like, whatever, whatever, because the diagnosis in USA was that he is gonna be always in medicine, like using medicine and drugs that are very, very strong and that will hurt his liver or other organs. And when they did this research in Mexico, they said the same thing. So it was like there's no hope, you know, but just having in the medication. So I went there, and he explained me nutrition. So I was like, okay. I studied engineering biochemistry back in Mexico, and I loved it. The day they presented USANA to me, I was very interested. That day I didn't sleep. I didn't sleep at all. Before actually I met USANA as a business, someone introduced me with a book. It's called The Business of the 21st Century, Robert Kiyosaki. Everybody knows it. So I read about it, and I liked it. And for me, USANA, it changed my life that day. So I was like, you know what? I'm ready. The doctor that introduced me to USANA, I was like, okay, so what do you think? And I was like, I'm ready. Where do I sign? He was like, are you serious? That's why, guys, always have your cell phone with the link, whatever it is, for someone to sign, because there will be people that are just ready for it. And he was like, are you serious? And I'm like, yes, I'm serious. So where do I sign? He's like, ooh, I don't know. Let me just send it over to you, and so on. So right away, I started reading. I loved it. And right after the products came, I started giving to my kids. And I remember, my gosh, the first month. So for those who doesn't know what autism is, most of the people knows, but they are living in their own world. They just don't look at you. My kid was like just tearing things apart, breaking stuff, not listening, not turning his back. It was like not having a kid, you know, and he never listened to me. And I remember the first month he started with a lot of probiotics. I talked to the doctor, and another doctor in USA actually knew about it too, and she was so amazing. So they run a lot of tests and everything. And the first month, the best memory I have is that he grabbed my head with his hand, and he kissed me, and he looked at me. So that was the biggest gift I ever had. And my little one, without noticing, I stopped with the nebulization. So no antibiotics. I know his belly was very hurt, and it was just amazing, you know. And I remember the first day I signed with USANA, I told everyone about how amazing it was, because I didn't sleep the whole night. I read everything about USANA I could ever read. Of course, you never stop learning. So I start reading more, and I start using it, and I actually changed slowly my pills for depression to one of the products USANA, ginkgo biloba, and I started feeling great. So the biggest thing that everybody saw, it was my kids. And they were like, oh my gosh, I want that, I want that. But I told everyone, literally everyone, you know what, this product is amazing. I don't want to sell, I just want them to know about what amazing I was feeling. So my story, it was just about how I was feeling, how the kids get better and so on. And then in 6 weeks I become silver director. So but you know what's good? When I saw the check, but it was bad because then I didn't know how all these people came. It's about the power. So that's when I understood about the power of your story. And it's really important how you tell it. And so a lot of people started getting in. They trusted me. Most of them, they trusted me because I'm good at business. So they were like, you know what, the product is amazing, I feel good, how do I do the business? So I was like, just share your story, right? But what I've noticed is one of the things, I went right away, I went to the convention. So 2 weeks after I signed up, I went to the convention. Best thing ever. If you are going to do this business seriously, then you must go. Do whatever it takes and don't miss it. Go to any event. I honestly, I know many people can't do it. So that's why webinars are so good. But I went to every event I could because I knew there was something that I could do better. And I remember going to the convention, I met someone and they were like, no, 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 you have to do this and this and this and this and this. And I was like, why? And I was like, I need to see. So guys, really see any webinar you can, because that will show you what other kind of ways to do it, other leaders, because every leader is doing it something differently, but all of them have two things in common: the power of your story and a system. Something I didn't understand, it was a system. And it's very important. So when I become silver director and with all the people, I didn't know what to do. They were like, okay, now what? And I was like, ooh, I don't know. I don't know, because I didn't have a mentor. The person who enrolled me went to another company. So I was by myself. And I started looking around, but you're never alone. USANA is with you. You can call, they will help you out. Don't feel ever alone. So if you, like you said, your success, it doesn't depend on no one but you. So once I become silver director, I understand I have to do something, to something that it's not Fanny can do, but everyone can do. So I started going to events. I started learning, going webinars. I'll listen everyone I could, and I started doing my own test, my own system. Which part of it, and how many people enroll with me, it was because I sample. Okay, but honestly, I sample sometimes a lot. So sometimes it was like a whole bottle or 3 bottles, you know, and people saw the difference, and of course they were like, okay, I want to do it, but that's not applicable. So people cannot just go out there and just, you know, sample. And one more thing, the way I see USANA is for me not a part-time job, not a full-time job. USANA is an investment, guys. An investment is something that's gonna grow and one day will give you everything that you have worked for. So that's why I see USANA as an investment. They're like, oh, you want a part-time job? No, I don't want a part-time job, because if I stop working, money is gonna stop coming. So I don't want a full-time job or a job or anything. I want an investment. So I still see USANA as an investment. So my investment was like, I invest in people's health. And if they feel well, they're gonna come over. And that was happening. So, but then I noticed people cannot just go around and give, you know, like bottles, because I mean, it's money, right? And you have to make sure they are actually interested and they actually can afford to buy it too. And if they don't, if they're really interested, you can teach them how to get them for free, because they're gonna be paid, right? Of course. So I start working on looking at system, everyone can duplicate, and that's how I get into. I run over to Michael, a friend of mine, know him, so we had an event, and everything, many things had to happen for in order for us to meet. But he was very like you guys are an amazing leaders, willing to help me, no matter if I was her downline or not, because I'm not. And he was willing, and I just listening, you know. One of the things that it was tough for me, and probably tough for me, a lot of millennials, guys, is we're not teachable. We're not coachable. I want just to do it on my own. And it was tough, okay? Because I'm a very proud person. And I was like, no, that doesn't work. And he said something to me. He was like, you can be diamond in 1 year from now, or you can be diamond in 7 years. You will be. But the time, it's up to you, because either you're coachable and teachable or you're not. And if you're proud, you won't. And I was like, what? I'll do it. So, but actually, I took his class, and it's all about that. It's about sampling. Of course, you take your, so what is about USANA? You find a system and you're making your own. Obviously, you cannot just learn everything like a robot, because when you talk to someone, you're going to look like a robot. And they're like, who are you? What did you do with Fanny? You know, so it's your own style, but with a system. So when I started doing this, he offered me to give to the people that I signed up in USANA to have his course, right? So I was like, are you sure? But I was determined to do that. That I said, you know what, these 4 weeks are gonna be tough weeks, but I'll make it happen. But it wasn't just me, it was the whole team. So you don't do it on your own. You have to have, you can do it on your own, but like he said, it will take a little bit longer, right? So once you realize that, once you realize you have to be teachable, you have to listen, and you have to understand others, is when you start doing that team. And I remember I told Marta Leverett, and in Mexico they helped me too. That's why I'm telling you guys, USANA is there for you. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't. They are there for you, and they will help you if you want to keep going. So it's up to you guys. I told her, you know what, this from today, in 4 weeks, I'm going to become goal director. And she was like, whatever you need, just let us know. They were like checking on me. There were some days, guys, I remember the 3rd week, I was like, I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to make it. And in my points, I'm not going to make it. But that's the importance of helping others to become peace eaters. So I helped them. And those bonuses are the one who helped me the 3rd week, because I was like, I'm 800 points. I'm not going to make it. And when I get into the hub, it was like 1,100. I was like, oh, I did it. I served, and I remember, guys, it was like 2 a.m. in the morning in Mexico. So I was like, wow, I did it. So it's all about, you wanted it, you do it, you fight until the last second, guys. I swear God, I was until the last second on calls. But that was all because the first people I started talking when I joined to USANA, they started following me. And they see I've been consistent with them. Consistency is very important. So if you don't drink your vitamins, if you don't keep going, you know, it's like, oh, I give up. You know, I'll go tomorrow to the gym. Oh, you know what? I can't today. No. Go. Even though you don't go to the gym, walk, run, do something. But just don't give up. If you're not consistent, people will like, you know what? I don't want to work with you. That's how it's like. You plant a seed and then you get the fruit months after that, for real. And it might take your time, but you don't give up and you ask for help. So that's how I become goal director. Now I'm working on executive, and I'm using a platform which is for sampling. So that's the one. I just noticed that we can sample very little things, even, and you can do it face to face. You can just have in your bag, you know, sometimes like an extra referee or something. So sampling is a key on my business. We all my team knows that sampling is what we do sometimes, you know, but you have to know how much. And for that is the webinars, you know, for that is like a product information and so on. So guys, education is very important. Educate yourself before even everything. If you start with education, you're gonna start with everything, and you will know more on the road. So follow those leaders like Jared, Michael. They really teach you a lot, and just listen. Okay, make it your own. So
this is so great. This is so great. I am loving everything you're saying. Thank you for being so transparent, especially at the beginning of your story of all the challenges you had to overcome. And like, it's so cool to hear about how your kids just like kind of lit up with the nutrition. Like it helped them focus, and he held your face and he looked you in the eye and he was happy, and it was like, that's just heartwarming. And it's just like, how many people are out there right now that we can go help today, that could be like the next Fanny Castillo Juarez, like that's what I think about. Like it's just it's so cool. And then I love your story of just like you were ready for it. I mean, when you found USANA, it was like, sign me up. It wasn't hard. It like, sometimes when we prospect, we think it's like hard to sign someone up, right? Like, but there are people out there, if you're just going through enough people, that will just naturally want it. So like, I'm getting so much from your story. I know that everybody is. We still have 8 minutes left, guys. This is your chance to ask one of the fastest growing associates in the company some questions. So we have our first question here from Suan Knobloch in San Antonio. By the way, our Facebook Live viewers, I'm watching you here, so type in your questions and I'll ask Fanny the questions from Facebook Live. And our live viewers on Zoom, go ahead. Suan has the first question. Fanny, what is your daily method of operation?
Okay, so that's tough. I try to get into a routine. It's hard, but what I learned is you have to dedicate at least 30 minutes to an hour on reading what you love. So if it's probably what attracts you the most, go for it. But if it's business, go for it. And I do a little bit of exercise. Like I said, try to go to the gym. And I met new people, but there was something very interesting. I just noticed it. Okay, guys, I didn't like social media until now. Because I just noticed there's a point, because many people do it as a part-time job. Okay, that's amazing, and do it as a part-time investment. Okay, change the world. It's a part-time investment. What I've noticed is once you have a routine, you run out of people to talk. No matter what it is, you run out of people to talk, but not in social media. So if you can have like an hour or so, because let's be honest, we are in social media all the time, like in Facebook, like do it what you like in social media, that's fine. Share what you love, okay? Don't try to share things that you don't share, usually. So try to be 1 hour in social media, like we always do already, but let's be more productive. So yeah, probably my daily routine is dedicate 30 minutes to an hour to read something that I love, like products. In my case, I really love products. So I read what is about every product, or self-growth. So either or, it will teach you a lot. And then dedicate a little bit of time of social media, but don't forget about yourself and your health outside. So go enjoy people, just be you, and don't care about what others think for you. So just be you, be authentic.
Oh, I love it. You're so right. Spending time, specific, like focused time on social media, connecting with people, so critical. And yeah, that's totally opened it up for me as well. Just making friends every single day, new friends. And it really, in story, how many people watch my story? I went to the dentist yesterday. I mean, but people saw that, and they feel like they know me, or they see that I go work out, and it's like, but then there's that connection and there's that trust. So yeah, it's so great. So thank you for sharing. Our next question comes from Clara Martinez in El Paso, Texas. She asks, I love that you call it an investment. It's definitely the best investment I've ever made. Thank you for sharing with us.
Thank you.
Actually, that's more of a statement, but thank you, Clara. Great statement. That wasn't a question. My bad. Okay,
I have another.
It is an investment. Oh, go ahead. Do you have something you want to say?
Yes, I see it as an investment on 3 ways. So it's an investment first on your health. Mm-hmm. Best investment ever. Remember, guys, you don't have health, no time, no money. So, and your health. Second, self-growth. So it's how you see things now. And third, money, of course, it's going to grow. So
yes,
it's a third way investment.
Best investment I've ever made, for sure. All right, so we have another question from Becky Cox Armstrong, who's in Raleigh, North Carolina. She says on Facebook Live, she says, Fanny, thank you and love to you. Can you please tell us how you make sampling effective? I myself receive samples and I say thank you, and then I put it in my bag and never look at it again. How do you convert a sample into a client?
Okay, so that's why I said, guys, study, because so what you just don't, guys, you just don't give a sample to someone And because you have to know their needs, that's very, very important. Sometimes I hear people, and just the way I've heard them, it's like that person might not even very interested, so I don't give it to them. But so how you convert is like, oh, how are you feeling? You know, that energy. Why don't you try this? And they see me trying or something, and I give it to them and say like, try it. And then you have to remind them some things. Because I remember when someone gave me the book for reading, I didn't do it, but she reminded me like 3 times, and I was like, and I feel bad, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna read it, and I did. So just remember, like, oh, how did you like the sample I gave you, or did you feel any difference, or like, it's good, right? So people, it's like, okay, you know, they feel a little bit like that, but once they try and they're gonna love it. So that's how I turned them to be. Actually, most of them are distributors. I have only one client, but I'm gonna work on that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
No, that's so great. Knowing their needs and making it about their hot buttons and what will make them light up and be interested in it. And then, of course, I'm sure that the follow-up is pristine when you're giving out samples as well. So, and it's a learning process too. I mean, as you go as an associate, you learn and you get better at it just by doing it, really.
Yes.
So, you know, I think that's the main thing is like, don't try and make it perfect. Like whatever you're doing, just take the action and then learn from it, make adjustments. Eventually you'll get incredibly good at it, you know? So thank you for sharing that. Great question, Becky. All right. So we've reached the end of the half hour. Can you believe it? Time flies when you're having fun. So Fanny, what is your final piece of advice to everybody who's going to watch this recording or that's live right now? What's the message you want to leave with everybody to end the webinar?
Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to be yourself. Don't be afraid to share what you love. And no means new opportunity. So don't be afraid of no. Just be yourself out there and share, because you're trying the best product and you're with the best community. Just share it out and don't be afraid. That will be my last.
I love it.
Statements.
Don't be afraid. Just get out there. Think about all the people you can help today. Think about all the people that are literally praying for a solution for their health, their finances, maybe a community they're looking for that they don't even know they're missing. And you are the person that could literally change someone's life today. Fanny, thank you so much for being a great example of the USANA vision. Thank you for being a great new leader on the USANA team. We love you. We appreciate you. And everybody, we're going to unmute the lines and say, thank you, Fanny. Have an awesome day.
Thank you, Fanny. Have an awesome day.
Fanny. Thank you, Fanny. Have an awesome day.
Thank you, Fanny. Have an awesome day.
Love you, Fanny.
I'm going to call you.
Thank you, everyone.